hello. I didn't expect to see you there, Rufus. Hello. Why are you in the kitchen with me while I'm enjoying a lovely cup of coffee?
Oh, because you like coffee?
I do like coffee. Coincidentally, Rufus, guess what we're having for dinner tonight?
Steak.
Coffee rubbed steak.
Oh.
Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic Health, where we are documenting our weight loss journey.
And beyond.
And beyond. Today we are doing a choosy recipe that we got picked for us by the people that were watching us on the Losers Club Wednesday evenings at 6:30. So then, if you haven't seen choosy before, what we do is we randomly pick a book, a Slimming World cookbook, and then we go through our pile, which is quite extensive, and we go, do I want to keep the one I've chosen or swap it for another one? Do I choose the next one? And then you go through all of them until you make a decision, a final decision. I, last week, ended up with the Taste the Sunshine book. This is about 3 years old. And because I am so addicted to coffee, because I love my coffee so much, we're doing the coffee rubbed steaks with char-grilled potatoes.
But you could just make a cup of coffee and tip it in your dinner. It'd be lovely.
No. Well, you could, but no. So then, this recipe, I mean, first of all, Slimming World, whoever copyrighted this book, you need to get this looked at, because it is all over the place.
And often there is part of the ingredients that are not on the ingredient list.
I know, right? Here, no salt and pepper.
Yep,
Here, you need a teaspoon of coarsely ground black pepper. You wouldn't know that because it's not on the ingredients list. So sort that out, Slimming World. It's very annoying. Also, this, halfway through, you're swapping between putting a frying pan on a barbecue, then heating it up, then doing something else, then leaving it, then doing something else.
Yeah.
If you do it this way, you're leaving your potatoes and peppers cold.
Stone cold.
But I don't know if that was the plan. Well, they wouldn't be stone cold, would they? It wouldn't be like cold salad cold. They'd just be tepid. Bit weird. Anyway, we're going to do this today. And because we're not doing it on the barbecue, we've actually gone and got ourselves
some more pans
a new pan. It's a griddle pan.
And then after the last, recipe we did, we could just about get it all in a pan, and that was the ratatouille, so
we've also
got a bigger pan.
No, this isn't the biggest pan we've got.
It's not the biggest.
Because the biggest pan is kind of bigger and taller and wider and everything. You could probably cook meat in it.
If we did a recipe for 4, I think it was between 4 and 6 you could have the ratatouille.
Yeah.
We'd get all of it in that pan, but the other pan, no, we wouldn't get it.
So that's what we've got today. So we're doing it char grill. Hopefully, Rufus says apparently, because you're an expert on cooking, I'm not. But apparently, if we do it on a super high heat, we might get the lines.
You should get the lines on there.
If not, I've got a black marker pen. It'll be fine. I've got a Sharpie. So what do you need for this recipe? Well, we've got the ingredients and we've got it here. So then, first thing you need is 4 sirloin steaks. Now, these are not actually sirloin steaks. These are beef medallion steaks. We cut off all the fat. You can see here, look at all of that. And these were the leanest steaks that we could find in Lidl, and also we went into Tesco's. We ended up getting these in Lidl in the end because we went Tesco's first.
But I said the sirloin steaks had
all the fat running through it.
Loads of fat on them, so we thought we'll get the leanest one that we can get.
And to be fair, like these two just had a tiny bit on the side, whereas this one, most of the fat came from these two, which is a real shame, really. But anyway, we're on plan. We did have a discussion about could we just get a sirloin steak and sin the fat, but then we don't know how you would sin it on a sirloin steak, because how much is fat, how much percentage, blah, blah, blah. So we don't know.
All steaks have got a different amount of fat in them.
Exactly. So then we've also got in here, we have half a teaspoon of onion powder, we have half a teaspoon of garlic granules, we have 1 level teaspoon of sweetener, bizarrely,
The good
We've
white
got the
stuff.
we have. We've got the teaspoon of coarsely ground black pepper, and we've also got some smoked paprika. This was a tablespoon of smoked paprika.
Well, I said, what was it? The black pepper that isn't actually on the ingredient list.
That you need, but it's not on the list.
Yeah.
But you know, here we've got. Actually, I've got a little bit more. I've got. It says 2 tablespoons. This is 3
what
tablespoons.
Lisa calls coffee.
Coffee.
Yes,
This is 3 tablespoons of ground coffee. Now it's the percolator coffee. If you haven't got that, but you've got a Tassimo, open up a pod or 2 from a Tassimo.
Could you just use granule coffee?
I wouldn't. No. You know, sometimes on your cup of coffee. So like, you know, your coffee.
But
cup
you'll just end up with a mess on your plate.
Your coffee cup that's just here. Look, the loser's cup coffee cup. Your coffee.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you get little bits floating in it of coffee that's not quite dissolved. That is what you would get on your burgers. So you'd get little dots of super strong coffee flavour, which I would love. But yeah,
I like burgers, so you know I don't mind either way.
You like burgers?
That's what you just said, dear. Yeah.
Did
That's what you want to get loads of bits on your burger. Then
I meant
yes,
steak. Sorry, steak.
I don't mind. I like burgers.
You've also got some garlic cloves here that you've chopped up for me. And then over here on this side, we've got some red peppers.
And do you know why this is? Is because apparently you're meant to leave your peppers whole, but
it doesn't say that
until you get halfway down your list on here. Then it then tells you to char-grill your peppers whole, then chop them up after you've let them rest.
The whole thing, and here it is.
And then it tells you.
So again, it does say technically.
And my brain straight away said, take the pips out and cut them in half and prep them, because 9 times out of 10 that's what you do with most recipes.
Yeah, it does say 4 large red peppers.
Yeah.
We've got 3 medium red peppers and 2 sweet peppers.
Yeah.
So again, we're playing a bit hard and loose with the speed food. We've also got 1 kilogram of new potatoes that are just here.
Yes.
That are just here, and they are in some hot water. They've just been halved.
Yep.
And then, now this is where it's going to get really weird, because we have to prep the steaks, then cook the potatoes, then griddle the potatoes, then griddle the peppers.
But also your potatoes, it says to use new potatoes, which generally are fairly small, but then it also says the largest
small
new potatoes, and then slice them in half only. So.
Basically, we found the worst written recipe in Simi World history. But anyway, we're just going to crack on with that. So, first thing I'm going to do, again, going slightly off the recipe, is I'm lighting the potatoes to get the potatoes on. Now that I've done that, I'm going to move the peppers over to here. Yes. And I'm going to bring the steaks across, a plate across with some paper on.
The steaks.
And I'm going to just move your lovely Loser's Cup coffee there. I'm going to move that to one side. Can you tell these have just arrived today?
But it just shows you
pat dry my steaks.
I said you can see that we don't cherry pick these recipes, because they are literally
I never would have picked this one.
But they're literally done by, like, obviously having a look through and then just picking a recipe. That's without reading all the ingredients or anything. If it looks nice and we want to try it out of whatever book we have chosen,
we choose it, isn't it?
That's it.
Because that's what you would do. Like, that's what we do, obviously, at home. If we didn't have the channel, we'd still do the same thing. We'd go, look at that. That looks really yummy.
But it's still a little bit of a faff, isn't it, the way they seem to have worked
this
it.
One is,
We'll see, like I say, how it comes out.
But also, I did want to add in more spice, to be honest.
And as well, apart from the steak and the potatoes, there's not much of a speed or anything else in it.
So we do have some butternut squash that we're going to use as well. I know that's not speed. And we've got some cauliflower. Is it?
Butternut is,
And we've got some cauliflower in the fridge that we're probably going to use up as well.
Butternut's a swoosh.
We actually have
any of your pumpkins, squashes, they're all speed.
Everything dry. We also have some butternut squashes in the garden, Rufus.
We do?
I know. We'll have to do a garden update very soon. I know you've got squash babies growing. Right then, so I've patted those dry, which is what it says to do in the book. Next, I've got to mix the coffee sweetener, paprika, ground garlic, onion, all of that together, and rub it into
your steaks.
The steaks. So I've patted those dry with a kitchen paper. That is on, isn't it, for the potatoes. Just turn
Yes,
that up.
it is.
What am I looking for?
They look nice, those
Spoon.
steaks.
So then, move the plate across. So I'm going to swizzle all of these together.
So all of the things that we
Get that really
fill up.
lovely mixed. I know that we measured out very carefully.
I'm guessing that's why you put the 1 spoon of sweetener in it, because of the coffee, obviously.
Because you need the sweetener with the coffee. I know, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. You don't have sugar in your coffee.
Yeah, don't worry about having a coffee. Just have this in your dinner.
Yeah, and I'm not going to add all of the coffee, to be honest, because I do think that's probably a fair bit just for the steaks that we've got. So I'm going to add what would have been the 2 thingies worth. But actually, do you know what? I am going to add a bit more than that. Oh, sod it. Go on then, let's add it all.
She's not addicted to coffee, honestly, she's not.
No, I think this will be really lovely. Oh, it looks really nice. As a rub. Let me give it a quick sniff.
Stop inhaling it.
Oh, it smells like coffee, to be fair. That's what it smells like. And then we rub it.
That's funny though, because it is coffee.
I know.
Yes.
We rub it on the steak, so I don't know how the best way of doing it is.
Would you just put the steaks on the plate and then sprinkle a little bit over?
No, what I'll do is this. There we go. I do that like that, look.
Yeah, without putting too much, and then dab them and see.
And then I will put some in there. And then turn it over. Oh, look at that. That was a good, effective way of doing it. And then could you just pass me another plate over, please?
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you very much. And then I will pop that one onto there. Look at that. That worked really well. I know, it's almost like I've
It was a
cooked
bit
this before.
pink, and now it's not.
I know, now look at it. Oh, that's going to look really nice once we put it on the barbecue. I mean, the griddly pan. There we go.
I have no idea what it's actually going to come out like or taste like.
Neither
But we're going with it. We're going with it. It's fine.
It's an adventure.
It's
I think
something.
I have had something similar to this before. I am sure I have. I remember having a coffee rub on something. I mean, I know that you get a coffee granules you get in a face rub, but I don't think it's that. In an
You're not going to rub that all over your face, are you, really?
Not with the garlic and paprika, but coffee grounds is used in a lot of exfoliators on your face. It is. It's also very good in the garden.
If there's any spare bits, they'll end up on the plants.
I was about to say, yes, exactly. That's what I was just about to say. No, because there's salt in it.
Oh, yeah, don't do that then.
You don't want to put salt on your plants, it'll kill them.
There's-
So, because we've got plenty of the mix, I'm just making sure everything is... Well, if you're going to do a coffee rub, you might as well do a coffee rub. Do you know what I mean? What's the point in doing something coffee flavoured?
Yeah, I hope we like it afterwards.
If we don't, then we're going to be eating it anyway. If we don't, you can smother it with sweet chilli sauce and then you won't care.
Yeah, maybe.
Right, so that's what we do. And then we put the steaks to one side.
I really weren't expecting them to look like that, but you know.
No, I know, right? We put the steaks to one side. Then we've got the peppers.
Yeah.
Well, then we. Oh no! I've got the garlic next. So we'll move the griddle pan to one side. Get the small frying pan out. The garlic and the thyme.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, there's a little bit of. We've got lemon thyme.
Yeah.
Garlic and thyme.
It was out of the garden.
It was. It's what we had in the garden. So, just take the leaves off. We don't want too much because we're supposed to leave a little bit for garnish.
So we'll eat some of it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's enough, and we'll add the garlic in as well. Again, though, we do find a lot of the Slimming World recipes do lack quite a bit in flavour, don't they?
They do. That's why you add coffee.
That's I know, right?
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I should have put some fry light down first, because look at that, it's blowing everywhere. But anyway, there we go. Put a bit of fry light on. Give the pan a bit of flame, like so. And then get the spatula.
So we've got this step.
On a medium heat.
And then after this has been done and put to one side, then is the peppers.
Then it's the peppers. So and all I'm doing, all it says with this is to...
Just to warm it through, like
cook
just
the
cook
garlic.
the garlic.
Place over a medium heat. Cook
Just
the garlic briefly until lightly golden. Stir in the thyme and tip in a bowl.
Just so that the garlic is cooked.
Just slightly
rather
cooked
than
through,
raw.
Yeah, that's true. I know, right? So we will come back in a couple of minutes.
When this
Once the
bit's
garlic
done.
is just cooked through. The potatoes, you can see, are just coming up to a lovely rolling
nearly
boil
done.
there.
Yeah.
So then, we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
We'll be back.
Oops, I'm dropping the garlic. We're just taking it off the heat. It's in the spirit of this being a barbecue, I left it slightly to go a little bit char grilled. That was by design.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah, that was definitely by design. So it says to put all of that in
But so it's a bit
bowl.
crunchy.
Yes. I'm bringing that barbecue essence indoors. You know, that slightly burnt on the barbecue essence. There you go.
Oh.
See, doesn't that look lovely now?
Yeah, it's a bit crispy. It does say to kind of just leave them bigger potatoes, but new potatoes, and half them.
Yeah, I will give them probably another couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Let's just get the pan.
Don't put your hand in the pan.
I'm not going to put my hand in the pan. I was just checking that the heat was coming through. So a bit of fry light. We're using garlic fry light just because there's not enough flavours. Oh yeah, look at that, instantly bubbling. Right then, apparently, we're just going to cook these
until they get a bit of colour.
Until there's a bit of colour on them. So, I mean, red is already a colour, so I don't know why.
But I said, what I can't
doing that.
Wouldn't you still get the Chargrilled effects on them, even if they were chopped up and then put in there? Because that in my head would tell me to slice them and then put them in, but.
There we go. And pop
they like to give you extra steps in there so that you get extra body magic.
Body magic. Steps in, I know that. We're on a super high heat, so hopefully it's not going to smoke too much. But apparently that is the secret to getting that. I'm just looking for the Chargrilled line. There's no lines yet. Oh, it's starting to, look. Starting to. So you can't really see too clearly, but if I... There you go, I don't know if you can see. It's got quite smoky in here. So much so that I've just had to send Rufus out to do a bit of potting up in the garden while I'm cooking this through. Because it's all well and good saying that we need the oil to get this, and it needs to be on a hot griddle to get this hot, lovely sort of char grill effect. The only problem is it smokes a lot. And obviously, that's quite a bit of a problem when your partner has asthma and breathing difficulties post-COVID. So I think this is definitely a lesson for us that when we do the next choosy, maybe we will read through the recipes a little bit more and maybe not choose ones that need for things to get blackened and sort of, you know, quite as char grilled. Anyway, we live and learn. It does, to be fair, it does smell nice, and it is, you know, I do like this char grill effect on everything. It's just, I don't really want Rufus to end up back in hospital, thank you very much. So, you know, I'm going to turn the potatoes off now as well at the back. So we'll turn those off, and then we've got to drain them and put them in a bowl. So I've got all the windows open. I'm going to leave this to do what it's doing, and then I will bring Rufus back in the kitchen once it's safe to do so. The peppers, I'm happy with how they have cooked. They all have that lovely char grilling on. I've just read ahead in the recipe, and believe it or not, we're supposed to skin them in a minute, which is completely pointless. If you're skinning them anyway, why are we going to all the hassle of getting them like char grilled? So I'm not going to skin them either. I know, right? I'm a recipe rebel, that's what we are. But it does say to season and spray the potatoes. So I do have them just here. You can't quite see, just because I'm going to do this step while Rufus is still outside. And the dogs are complaining because I'm talking and there's nobody else in the kitchen, so they think I'm talking to them. Right then, so with a little bit of fry light and a bit of a wing and a prayer, we're going to place some of these down. It's just going to be a case of turning the potatoes once they've got a little bit of colour on. Hi, so it's actually been a couple of hours because we had to get Rufus's breathing to calm back down, didn't we, love?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that time, I did go ahead and finish griddling the potatoes and the peppers. I've just put them on these to go in the air fryer to warm it back through. This is how the steaks are looking.
They look like they're cooked already, but don't
really
cut into it because they're not.
No. So I am going to put a little bit of fry light on the pan. I did just wipe it down afterwards.
That'd be 10 calories.
Probably 10 calories or so. And I'm not going to have it so that it burns because I don't want to kill my husband.
Right.
Not until we got the life insurance.
I don't think you... Well, you probably could burn them if you left them on long enough. But
To be fair, they look as if I've burnt them already, let's be honest.
I mean, some steaks, people flash either side and then they put in the air fryer, do they? And just finish or in the oven, some people, but...
Some people do.
Yeah.
Not us. We're going to do it the
They're going to
old-fashioned.
Chargrilled.
So then, we just... Oh, they do look really...
But yeah, they're very, like... They just look to me like they're already cooked, but they're not.
No, they are raw.
They look like they've been on a barbie.
It says in the recipe book to cook them for 10 minutes and then that gives you a medium rare finish.
I wonder though whether they're going to taste of coffee. That's what I'm wondering.
Probably. Broccoli's cooking away quite happily. Butternut is cooking away quite happily. These are just sizzling nicely. We'll come back in a couple of minutes when I've got 9 minutes left on the air fryer for the butternut squash.
What we've got to do though, we've got to wait until these look black and then we will be back.
And then they'll be medium rare.
Yeah, just how you like them.
Yeah, yeah. So
like they look like they're not going to walk out of the pan.
Out of the pan.
No. Yes.
So we'll be back when these are black.
We will.
Okay, as you can see, they're not quite black. We haven't quite charcoaled them just yet.
They're looking good.
They look really, really nice. And the fat is coming out of them, such as it is, or the juices are coming out. But obviously, this one's going to take a little bit longer. Yeah. So I will just turn them down a little bit.
They look okay though.
The broccoli has been done. The air fry is nearly finished. Yeah. Just before you serve the steaks, it says to add in the garlic and the thyme. So I'm going to sprinkle that on.
Is that before it goes on the plate?
Yep. Well, that's it's going to go on the plate shortly.
Wow.
There's a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to pop that on like so, just to give it that little bit of flavouring. And there you go. That is the finished coffee rub steak with char-grilled potatoes and peppers with added butternut squash and broccoli. That, I've got to say, looks absolutely lovely.
And look at your decorations. Look, a little bit of thyme on there.
A little bit of lemon thyme, fresh from the garden.
Got to see what we think of. Obviously, we know what most other things are like.
It's
but
the steak that we're interested in, isn't it? So let's see. Oh, that's perfect.
And is it actually going to taste like coffee?
Ching ching, click.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Doesn't taste of coffee at all, does it?
Mm.
It tastes smoky and char-grilled.
How bizarre. It just does not taste like
coffee granules.
That's a really nice dinner.
That's really good. On a taste test, first glance, first test.
Yeah.
That is really delicious. We'll come back to you at the end and give you our final thoughts. Okay, so then we have finished our plates. We've literally emptied our plates.
Empty.
Which is a good sign. Yeah. Because not every time we've done one of the choosy recipes have we done it.
No.
So what did you think?
Very nice. I was thinking it was going to be quite coffee-like, but it tastes nothing like coffee, bizarrely.
No.
I could taste the peppercorns and all that sort of stuff in there. I liked that it was really like char-grilled and stuff, and still a little bit soft in the middle, steaks and that.
Yeah, just how you like
just
it.
Nice.
Yeah. But that, I've got to say, that's really difficult to judge because of the way the rub is on the outside. It looked like burnt, didn't it? It looked really well done. But yours was
really soft.
Perfect,
inside,
medium rare, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely, like I say, if you're not someone that's a coffee lover, I would definitely try it because it doesn't taste, as far as I can tell, anything like coffee. But yeah.
No. Out of 10, what would you give it?
An 8.
A good solid 8. What was your favourite bit of the meal?
I like the peppers, like the char-grilled peppers and that, but like I say, and it may come out slightly different if we did it on the barbecue, because obviously we did it on a grill pan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely have it again, but yeah.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, even if you do like coffee, try it because it doesn't really taste of coffee.
No.
So don't go in expecting it to taste like a cappuccino or something, or an Americano, because it won't. It just doesn't. It doesn't taste of coffee. What it does taste of, though, is really smoky, really char-grilled. It tastes like it's been in a smoker or in a, you know, that sort of, you know, when you have it done in the restaurants where they cook it over a flame and then they add the smoke flavour, so it's like really smoky and like wood smoke. That's what it tastes like. It's really smoky.
They use that, is it?
No, it tends to be in the smoke stuff tends to be in the States. But really good. Really enjoyed it, actually. I would have that cooked in that way again. And I've got to say, because of the way the rub was done, is a little bit gritty in the mouth, but it's really delicious. Really tasty. I would give it a solid 8.5. I would give it a 9 if the recipe wasn't such a complete and utter faff to follow.
See, I would have first seen that recipe in the book and then gone, not sure about that one.
Yeah, because you don't like the coffee, whereas that's the thing that drew me to it.
I quite like that we tried like new stuff like this, because otherwise it's probably something that I wouldn't have picked myself.
Yeah, but absolutely. I think, as I say, it loses a good solid point because of the way the recipe was written, because it's really difficult to follow. It's got bits like the peppercorns that aren't in the ingredient list, so you wouldn't know unless you followed it. And then it's just really disorganizedly written. So, I mean, we made the most of it in the end, and we ended up with quite a delicious dinner. But I do think the way it was written was atrocious.
So you're prepping it, chopping the peppers and all of that, and then later on, then you're going to chop them up to put in.
Yeah, and talking about the peppers, it says on it, you cook the peppers, you char-grill them on the barbecue, blah, 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 lovely, get all the nice flavours, and then you take the skin off. But if you take the skin off, you're losing all that lovely char-grilled smokiness, which is what the peppers really, that was the best thing about the peppers, wasn't it? So, again, I'm not quite sure that I would do that the way that Slimming World say. Also, the char-grilled potatoes, I don't understand the point of that.
It's just literally
they just look
for
nice,
decoration.
don't they? Yeah, they look nice, but it just tastes like air fried potatoes. Save yourself some time, you just bung them in the air fryer, and then when they're cooked, whack them on a griddle to get the lines, or as I said earlier, a Sharpie. Anyway, would you recommend that people try that recipe?
Yes, I would.
So would I, 150%. Absolutely. But that's going to be it for this week's Choosy. A really good success, not with the recipe, but with the finished meal, a really good success. So then, as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and we will see you on the next one. And what do we say?
Happy Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday. It's Monday today, dear.
Yes.
Happy Tuesday. Say goodbye, Rufus.
Goodbye, Rufus.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.